I showed this off in a previous video, but I recently acquired two Graflex 2x3 cameras, one Century Graphic, and a Speed Graphic. Now the Speed Graphic needs a little bit of work, but the Century Graphic is in pretty phenomenal shape. So one of the things that I also acquired that came in yesterday was a roll film back. It's one of the slightly newer, comparatively newer Singer 120 medium format film backs. So it shoots a 6x7 negative. The issue is, and pretty sure it didn't say it on the listing, was that the dark slide is a little chewed up here, which kind of a bummer. So today's project is I'm going to try and reuse some of the metal from this clear corn whiskey canister. I'm not sure if it's the right size, but it feels like it should be. It's a little thicker than soda can aluminum, and hopefully it'll work. We're gonna find out. Anyways, that's today's project. I have a bunch of 2x3 slide film holders that are just a little too thick and not quite long enough to really do the job. So we are going to Homebrew. Hey, get it? Homebrew? Anyways, let's make some space, see if we can't cut out a chunk of this and clean it up and get it to fit within our film back. I also ordered a bunch of film, which should be arriving tomorrow. That sounds great. So I want to make sure that I can, this dark slide works, but it is a little unsatisfying to use. Here, I'll show you. I've got film loaded in it. It's probably not any good, but it was good practice to practice loading it and just getting familiar with shooting this camera. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop the film back in. Make sure everything's all closed up. Let me make sure the lens is also closed. So that way, the currently unexposed film that is, lined up at the focal plane doesn't get any light. Even if it does, it's no great loss, but at the same time, don't want to waste a shot if I don't have to. So here's our dark slide that we're going to try and replace. So you'll notice it's got one big chunk missing, and then this bottom edge is frayed, which bothers me as far as, if you're sliding it in and out, I don't want to make that any worse. So the idea here is, this is a perfect size. This side doesn't quite work because the Stillhouse brand name is a little embossed. We might try it if we have to, but hopefully we'll just go a little wider on the sides and trim down to where we need to. We'll be in good shape. I'm also going to check to make sure it's the right thickness. I measured, brought the handy calipers out. Let's make sure they're zeroed or close to it. There we go. I wish they were dial calipers, but I'll take digital. So measuring the thickness of this, it's about 0.65 millimeters. I don't know that you can see that. The dark slides for the slide film holders are a little thicker. I believe they were a little over 0.8. Let's see. Yeah, 0.8, almost exactly. So these won't quite fit in and they do. It's a little tighter than I would like. I don't want to cause any problems. So let's just get into it. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to shoot a bunch of film though. I also ordered darkroom chemicals so that I can do my film processing. There's one little ding in the can. I don't know that that'll matter. Worst case scenario, I'll go out and buy some more of these, empty them, And I don't know, we'll see what happens. So we're just going to go for it. Using Sharpie, we'll cut to the outside of the Sharpie line so that we have lots of excess to work with. Let's just flop this around, get to a clean corner or close to it. Yeah, that should be good. So I wish I had brought this to the workshop because we have tin snips and useful things for cutting them. However, if it's not too thick, I've got just a little pair of clippers. Some scissors might even work. The first step is going to be punching into the can. Probably not the best way of doing it, but we'll see what happens.